Hello all, this is Nimi with you, and today we'll be moving on to grade 9 Beehive textbook Cbse. We'll be moving on to the next unit. The chapter's name is The Snake and the Mirror. The story is written by V.M Basheer. If there are any students who are there from Kerala, they might be very familiar with V.M Basheer. He is known as Vaikim Muhammad Basheer. Almost all Basheer's work, there would be one major element of humor. That is the most speciality what you can see in Basheer's work. He was a person who was born from 1908 and died in the year 1994. He is also known as Bepur Sultan. He is basically from a place called State Kerala, a place called Calicut. In Calicut, he is from Bepur. So that is the reason why he is known as Bepur Sultan, like the king of Bepur. He is a writer, activist and humanist. So he is a writer, he is a very well-known writer. There are a lot of his works, Balikalasagi, Shabdangal, Pathumayude Aada, like that many works are there of famous by V.M Basheer. He was also an activist, he was also part of freedom struggle, he was also a humanist. He would love to work basically for humans or human beings or for people. He was a person who lived for people. So most of his works are very famous. Okay, so we look into our story, The Snake and the Mirror. Let's divide the title into two. The Snake, the Mirror. Okay, so there's something to be done with the snake and something to be done with mirror. And remember one major quality of V.M Basheer, that is the humor element of Basheer. When the story begins, we can look into the two characters. One is a doctor who is basically an homeopathic doctor. The name is not mentioned anywhere in the story. It can be anyone, we don't know. And the second major character, it's not a human being but an animal. There are many people who have taken animals as their characters. One among them was Basheer. In Basheer's other novel of Pathumayude Aada, the main character was Aada in Malayalam. The meaning is goat. So he was a person like this. So over here basically you can see the second major character is the snake. So when the story begins, we can know that he is a doctor. Okay, so we will look into the story. I'll just read few lines from the textbook, how it is beginning. Okay, has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra? All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. So basically the doctor, the main character of a story, the doctor is narrating the story to his students about one of the tale about what happened in his life. So it is said that he was taking his class on snake. It is at that point of time he recollected his memories about a snake. The story begins like this. That's what I have written over here. The setting, summertime, and he's sharing the room with rats. Can you imagine that? The story begins like this. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise far above as I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. So one thing you have to know about the doctor was not in a very good state. Very good state in the sense, not basically financially stable. Okay, obviously when a person is financially stable, what would they feel? The house would be in a proper place, proper area where there are no other creatures like these. So over here you can find in his house, he was sharing the house with the rat. That itself will understand he's a doctor. In spite of that, why is the doctor sharing the room with rats? That's a thought for you. That question is answered in the next paragraph. So he says the sound is a familiar one. Every day he is hearing the sound of the rat. That is the reason why it is a very familiar sound. So obviously the house was not electrified. There was no electrical power over there. So what happened? He had a kerosene lamp and he lit the kerosene lamp. It was a small rented house. So right now what is the doctor doing? He had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. So basically he was just started practicing the doctor, so he was just earning very little amount. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase, some shirts, dhotis, and also I possessed one solitary black coat which was then wearing. So all these were the things what he had. One was 60 rupees, the other one was some shirts, dhotis, and also he had a black coat. Okay, we all know when we have a particular program and all, we normally wear, if you are in a formal, we have to wear a coat. Okay, a coat or a blazer. Men and women both are supposed to wear. So maybe he had a coat also. Okay, so he was wearing that coat too. Okay, and then what happened? It was very hot. As I told you, it is summer time, so it's very hot. He removed his dress because he was just coming from outside. He removed his dress, and then what happened? And then he thought of, as the room was not electrified, he thought, okay, I'll sit in the veranda. You know what is a veranda? If you don't know, I'll post a picture of veranda. It is just like a small area in the house, okay, right in the front before you enter inside the home. Just in the beginning of the house only, the first part is called veranda, where we put one or two chairs, we sit there normally during the morning or evening, during a leisure time to talk. So he says he was there, and then what happened? It was very hot. Okay, in veranda also he couldn't find any nice breeze, was not there. So he went back to the room. So in the room what happened? He was not able to sleep at all. Okay, and then he was just walking up and down. And then while he was walking up and down, he thought, okay, now I'll sit on the chair and read something. So he took the book. The name of the book is basically Materia Medica, maybe some book which is related to his studies. So he thought of taking the book and he thought of reading the book. So while he was reading the book, obviously he was sitting right in the front of a mirror. Obviously, when you see a mirror, what do? You comb your hair, you look if everything is fine. Yes, you look if your makeup is fine, everything. You do that many a time, I'm sure. Even if it is crossing, why to say a mirror? Even if you see a vehicle parked over there, even in that vehicle, if you're able to see a reflection, there also you will look, right? That is a human behavior. Everybody does that. So he also, when he saw the mirror, he took the comb, he was combing his hair. He thought, okay, fine, I'm fine, right? I'm looking right. When he looked at the mirror, there were a lot of thoughts which came across his mind. So, what were the thoughts? One thing he thought, okay, I am a handsome young man. Okay, and he was also unmarried and he was a doctor. So he thought, I'm going to get married to a very wealthy woman. And he also says one thing, I also feel that my wife should be a little fat. Now why should she be very fat? So that if our doctor, the main character, do some mistake, when he runs, the fat wife could not run and reach the doctor. So all these things were coming to his mind one by one. So he looked at his mirror again, he said, okay, I'm looking so handsome. Then he also took few decisions. What were the decisions he took? He should shave daily because he should maintain his beauty. The second one was, he also thought of maintaining a thin mustache. You know what's a mustache, right? The hair underneath the nose, which normally men has. So these were the two decisions. So he thought of shaving daily and to have a thin mustache. So these were the two decisions what he took. Now, then what else? Now he was appreciating his smile. He was looking into that every time whenever he took 2 or 3 decisions also. He thought that he should have a smile always on his face. Okay. So that was one thing what he was thinking. Okay. To have a smiling face. And again he was thinking about a lot of things what was happening, and then all of a sudden what happened, he could hear one thud sound just like that. As if like when when the rubber falls and all, thick rubber falls on, what would be the sound be? Exactly. Okay, so when he heard the thud sound, he was literally shocked. What could that be? And all of a sudden he thought something like a rubber or something just fell on it, fell down. And later he could feel that something is like coming next to him. He could feel something. The way he turned, by the time there was a cobra snake. And the cobra snake very slowly was coiling around, initially shoulder, arms, like that it was coiling, and it was almost near to his face. And in the textbook it is very clearly given over here. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snakes landing on me and my turnings were simultaneous. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble. So the snake was completely very close to him, just 3 to 4 inches. Just imagine how would be your situation. The author was also very shocked. The author didn't know what to do. It was really very close. He didn't know what to do. He know if he turned his head or if he cried out, the snake would bite him. After all, he is a doctor. He was thinking about the medicine, whether he had the medicine with him. Okay, all these things were there in his mind. Okay, what is to be done? And it was literally dark. Okay, and he didn't know what it was. And he started to think about God all of a sudden. Obviously, when we have problems only we think about God. So our author was also thinking about God. I felt that the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. I felt God was there. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words, "Oh God." And all these while the snake is there on his elbow, and he couldn't, the weight he couldn't take it up, okay? And he started pain in his left arm. All of a sudden he says that he couldn't even move away. He said there's one statement in the textbook, death lurked 4 inches away, because the snake was just like with its whole hood. You know what's a hood? Hood completely open. It was just 4 inches away. So the right sentence what is written is death lurked 4 inches away. Okay, so lurked means death was hiding. Okay, behind the snake I can feel the death. So he was really shocked. He didn't know what about it. And then what happened? Maybe God has heard his prayers. All of a sudden snake saw the mirror. Basically snake saw its reflection on the mirror. Maybe snake thought, oh, here there's another snake. All of a sudden, snake started to move from his hand to his lap, then on the table, and then was near the mirror. It is said in the textbook that he has turned into a stone because he couldn't move. The minute the snake moved from his hand to the table, he ran quickly outside. He wanted his life. It is just as if he has got his life back. So quickly he ran to get his life back. And then he moved forward. And he directly went to his friend's house. The first thing he did was he took a proper bath. The next day morning, he was really scared, so he asked his friend also to come. He and his friend came back to the house thinking that there are a lot of valuable things inside the house, right? So he thought he'll take it and maybe later on move to the house, another house. When he came to the house, remember what all he had? 60 rupees. And the story is written years back. So obviously the value of 60 rupees, okay, Indian currency, you can understand the importance of it. So when he returned to his house, he couldn't see anything. Money is not there, dress is not there, nothing was there. And he says, I feel so ashamed. Why? My vest was there. You know what is a vest, right? The innerwear. It was there. I think the thief did not take my vest because it was not clean. And then the author himself says he could have cleaned the vest and used it again. He also says, I think the thief had a sense of cleanliness. Okay, that might be the reason why he didn't take the vest. All the other things were taken away. And then he also asked, did you meet the snake anywhere? Did you see the snake next day, doctor? And he said, I've never seen it since, because maybe the snake was taken with its own beauty. So that is where the story ends. So as you have heard from the story, the major character was doctor and the snake. The lasting impression what the snake made in doctor's life is something what you have to look into. The important questions what might come from this chapter, one can be the humor element, because already I told you V.M Basheer is a humorous writer. So the humor element in the story. The second one is basically about what are the decisions he took, important decisions he took in his life. What were the important decisions? To shave daily and to have a thin mustache. And also it says that the earthly decision he takes. What is the earthly decision he takes? The earthly decision is to have a smile on his face. Okay, so this is about the chapter Snake and the Mirror. Basically it's a humor chapter. So if anybody asks what is a humor element, one, the way he speaks about the wife. I imagine a wife should be fat enough and all those things related to it. That is one humor. The second thing about the thief who took everything, and the author is asking why the thief didn't take my vest. Maybe the thief had a sense of cleanliness. That is also basically a part of humor element in the story. Okay, and also the way he begins the story, I shared the room with rats. So all these points can be the humor elements in the story. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you understood the story as well. Yeah, one more thing I left was V.M Basheer has written it in Malayalam, and then it was later translated by Abdullah to English. That's one point I missed. So this is about the story, the Snake and the Mirror. I hope you have understood the story. So please do like the story if you have liked it, and please post a positive comment if you literally want to make a comment. Critical appreciation is also welcome. Along with that, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. There's a small bell icon over there. Don't forget to click on the bell icon, so whenever I post new videos you can watch it. Another thing, please do share it with your friends. Okay, let this also be useful for all your friends. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Until then, your Nimi signing off. You take care. Stay blessed. God bless you. Thank you.